Be sure to record, Michael. Be sure to record.
I am recording. Yes, sir. Mr. Jet, we have a gentleman here named Mr. Jet. He is not only a friend, but he's my coach, my mentor. I was introduced to him by word of mouth initially about 12 years ago. Then I got to meet him about 6 years ago in person here in Las Vegas, actually. And I'm telling you guys, he's changed not only my life, my family's life, so many friends, and you guys on the call, you know, if you're on this call, your lives have been changed by this gentleman. He's helped over 100 plus people become financially free, million plus. He got in before PayPal went public and shared it with some other people. He also got in some other companies that he shared it with some of his close friends before it went public. And he's helped so many people get financially free. And he's here tonight to share the knowledge, the information that you can take advantage of right now in this moment of what's about to come. The next PayPal, which is bigger than that, the next Google, which is bigger than that. So without further ado, Mr. Jet, are you on the line here with us and unmuted?
I sure am. Can you guys hear me?
We sure can, sir. Loud and clear.
All right. Greetings from Pattaya, Thailand. I'm going to start this call off today with a very thought-provoking exchange I had over Skype with the gentleman who signed up 2 founders. I was helping him actually enroll these 2 founders, and he has 5 more signing up next week. And basically, I just sent him the message. I said, have you made a decision to join us for the Dubai trip in October? And his reply to me was, ha ha, if I can get enough people under to reach Pro Builder, then yes. And my answer to him was this, you guys. This is mentorship training on becoming a business leader. It is never, if I can. You see, that's how regular, average, ordinary people think. And that is why they get the results, because they think production happens based on other people. A business leader makes a decision to be a pro builder by a certain date. Then he or she uses his or her will, commitment, focus, work ethic, and determination to make sure that that decision manifests. With the attitude, I'm going to do it or die. That's how you create reality in your life. That's how you make millions of dollars. It's not about them. It's only about you. Your decision. Your personal will to win. I highly recommend you read this book immediately called Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker, so you can understand the different thought process that makes you become a millionaire business leader. See, it's a completely different mindset than being a policeman or being a nurse, being a secretary, or being a teacher. So you have to become a successful leader in Bitclub Network. You're gonna have to change. For things to change in your life, and I'm talking about a change, becoming a multi-millionaire, I must change. So you guys, let's start our training call off there tonight. Please, at the top of your page, write in bold at the top of your page. For things to change, I must change. You see, I want to empower, and I want to encourage, and I want to inspire each and every one of you on this call today to make a decision to be a master builder in Bitclub Network by the end of September. That's my focus on what I want to accomplish from this call tonight. And you say, well, Jet, it said in the call to be a pro builder. Why are you now saying to be a master builder? Several reasons. Momentum, so much great press. It's easier to become a master builder now because there's enough time. You got 15 days left in this month, July, a full month next month in August, a full month in September, 2.5 months. But most importantly, I want you to think intelligently about your leadership role. You see, if you only make pro builder, that means you come to Dubai. You make master builder, that means you develop 2 other pro builders. You bring some other leaders with you to Dubai. That's more important for you to make multiple millions of dollars. You bring a couple people with you, then they meet the leadership, they get the vision, they understand that this is worth their best, their all their intensity, everything they got. Now they come out of that, they're working toward getting master done. That means you can get yourself to monster builder by the end of this year. The other reason though is because, think about this, you want to make sure you go on this Dubai trip. This is an incentive trip. There'll be leadership meetings, but it's an incentive. They're going to spoil us there. Well, they've only got 350 rooms booked. So what does that mean? If there's 40 monster builders in the company around the world, obviously all 40 of the monster builders are going to book their rooms. If there's 150 master builders, all of them, they're going to book their rooms. So that's 190 rooms gone. So, that means there's only 160 rooms left. So basically, they're going to release them to the monsters first, release them then to the masters, and then they'll be released to the pro builders. Well, what if there's 500 pro builders around the world, and so now you're trying to get in, and there's only 160 rooms? You want to make sure you get in. That's how come I'm going to talk to you about master builder tonight. So you getting a master builder, now you got your room booked, and so if your 2 pro builders aren't able to get in of those 160 rooms left, they can now fly over to Dubai, stay in your room, and still participate in this experience. So it's a good business strategy for you to make sure, if you want to be a leader in this, that you're master builder by September, so you can make sure you can bring your key people with you to this event. I hope that makes sense to you. So what are the requirements to be a master builder? To be a master builder, that means you develop and build 2 pro builders. Help 2 people become pro builders. Well, what's a pro builder? A pro builder is a person who has developed 3 builders. That means they got 3 different builders and 3 different legs within their organization. So what's a builder? A builder is a person who has signed up 5 people in the Bitclub network, and of those 5 of them have each signed up 2. And a combined of over 10,000 of production from that group. So the reason I'm saying, because of momentum now, we see it's very easy to get to master builder, because you can build builders very, very quickly. If you start getting on our messaging and our understanding that for a person to become a multi-millionaire through this investment, they need to buy 3 founders positions. And then for them to really benefit from the cryptocurrency field, they want to at least pick up 5 GPU units so they can have income coming throughout 2018 from the GPUs, throughout 2019 from the GPUs, and then they get that big payday of, if they only get the minimum of 30 Bitcoin from their 3 units, that's 90 Bitcoin. So if it's at 10,000, that's $900,000. But now we know if it's at 10,000 within 6 months, it'll be up over 20,000, because it always increases 100% after the halving event in July 2020. So that means bare minimum, they got 1.8 million from that, another couple 100,000 from what they mined from the GPUs. They've made multimillionaires from the investment. So if you have clarity around that, and then basically for people who want to do crowdfunding, who want to earn it, make additional Bitcoin, well, they can come in with that $15,000 investment, and you can structure that to where they're builder right from the start. We can structure it where, they get the couple founders, they have their 5 positions, 2 of them though just at the 500 pool mine, and then they do 2 up under each of the 5, and so they're builder right away. So, to build these builders, to get your 2 pro builders, you need 3 builders to be a pro builder. We're having people do this a lot quicker than I think a lot of you think. It's just you have to change your thinking. You have to be clear in your vision that you want to do the best possible job to help that person obtain wealth from this investment. And the best job is them getting 3 of these founders positions to set themselves up for ongoing multi-million-dollar wealth. And you say, oh, well, Jet, I love to do that, but I'm talking to people, they don't have money. That's your thinking. Don't believe that. They've got 401ks. They got IRAs. They're out there saving in something right now that's only paying 2, 3, 4%, that they're in an economy that when it's going to crash because of this 20 trillion in debt, they're going to be devastated financially. You have to have a clarity of vision. Look, I want to help you achieve wealth. I want to help you achieve freedom. You need to go liquidate that qualified plan now. I don't care what penalty you pay, and put it into something where you're going to get wealthy. If you come with that intention, if you come with that belief, if you come with that understanding of how you're going to deliver for a family, of course they're going to do it. Say, oh, well, they don't have a qualified plan. Well, they got some assets. You're talking to people, do you know how many people got, women out here got jewelry, diamonds and stuff in a jewelry box? That's an asset. That's been sitting there where they might pull it out, put it on maybe once or twice a year. Tell them, look, you can take that asset, go to the pawn shop, pawn that stuff to make sure you're a multimillionaire in a couple years. Or go sell it, and then when you're a multimillionaire, now you can buy the real jewelry that you want to have. I'm saying think out of the box, but understand you want to deliver for people through this investment with these founders positions. So, it comes down to a philosophy when we talk about success. I hope all of them on the call have read the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And, that's sort of the Bible. That's sort of the success book on for the people who have achieved around the world. Basically, Napoleon Hill interviewed the wealthiest people in the world at that time, the people who built the Industrial Revolution in the early the 1930s and 40s. And I mean, the Edisons, the Roosevelts, the Alexander Graham Bells, the most successful Kennedys and all that. He interviewed the most successful people. And it came down to the common denominator for people who succeed in life is that they have a clear, concise mental picture of what they want to accomplish. And it's so clear that it's in writing. You guys, written goals. You want to have in writing about your promotion to master builder. You want to look at it every day, every night before you go to bed. You want to visualize it. You want to see it. They talk about a burning desire in chapter 2. They talk about a magnificent obsession in Think and Grow Rich. You want to get a magnificent obsession about your success in this so you can set yourself up, because this is the big leagues. Do you understand? You become a monster builder in this by January of next year. Well, let's say you got enough GPU units, 50, 100 units that you purchase over that period of time. So you're living from the GPU units. And let's say as a monster builder, you're only getting 1 Bitcoin a day. Do you understand the difference of being paid in an asset as opposed to being paid in US fiat dollars or euros or Australian dollars? By getting an asset of 1 a day of Bitcoin, if you just let that asset accumulate, until, we're expecting Bitcoin to be over 20,000 of Bitcoin by 2020. That means starting January of next year, you can live throughout 2018, 2019 from your GPU units. That means you're actually making $20,000 a day. That's $600,000 a month. That's $7.2 million a year. And I'm saying you could put that in place over these next 2.5 months by getting yourself the master, bringing a couple of those pro builders with you, and get yourself the monster builder by the beginning of the year. That's the big leagues, you guys. You're not in the top 1% in earnings in the world. You're not in the top 1/10% of earnings. You're in the top 0.1% of earnings in the world when you're making over 7 million cash flow a year. Do you understand the magnitude of what you're involved in here? This is the big leagues. This is worth your best. This is worth your all. This is worth your commitment, your focus, your determination. I really hope that makes sense to you guys. I'm going to recommend you do get a couple books. I'm going to recommend you get the book by T. Harv Eker, The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, because you got to change your mindset. You got to. You're there. You put yourself in the right place at the right time. You put yourself in an incredible situation, but to take advantage of it, you got to have your mind right. I think of, you heard many of you, Joby Weeks, talk about Billy Womack, one of the fastest people to pro builder in the company. And Billy Womack, you talk to him. He has a magnificent obsession about building Bitclub Network. He's got that. He's planning on 3 monster builder positions. When I'm saying master builder by September, he's going to be monster builder. Got another example, Angelo Rossetti. Angelo Rossetti was somebody I worked with in another business. He had a burning desire to succeed in life, but in that other business, he wasn't successful. So my first week when I made that determination that I'm going to build Bitclub Network, I called Angelo and got him involved. And what I saw with him was the exact same attitude, the exact same work ethic that I saw in the other business. And I knew he was going to fail. I knew it wasn't going to work for him because of what his attitude was. But then came January, February, something switched. I don't know if it was a meeting. I know Joby came down to the Florida area. I know Michael Stevens came down and worked with them. I don't know what it was, but in one day, he went from just a person I signed up that I knew you will sign up a person here or there in Bitclub Network to one day, he changed. One day, he became a leader. It was clear from the tonality in his voice. It was clear from the energy coming from his eyes. He stepped up, he's talked right, and boom, he moved on. He then became a pro builder. And now, master builder. And now he'll be a monster builder by Dubai. So anyone can make that change. This book will help you in that change. Another book I recommend you get is Beyond Positive Thinking. This is by Dr. Robert Anthony. You know, so many people have asked me to write a book. And I was planning actually on writing a book, but then when I read this book, I'm like, I don't have to write it because this is what I found in my research about how to succeed in life. Read the subtitle right here. A no-nonsense formula for getting the results you want. That's all we're talking about. Getting to Dubai, being a master builder by end of September, that's a result. So obviously, if you can read a book that's going to give you a no-nonsense formula to get that result, I would encourage you to go get that book today and read it and adopt it and utilize it. But as I said, for things to change, we would change. We want to get into some fundamental stuff with you. I'm just going to close with this. My mentor is a multi-billionaire. His name is Art Williams. He used to be a football coach in South Georgia. And basically, Art said winning in life is just like winning in football. You win with fundamentals. Blocking and tackling is how you win championships. And so I just want to share with you real quickly some of the fundamentals from my notes that will get you to master builder. And then we're going to get you into some technique type stuff. But one of the things Art Williams always said is attitude is everything. You guys, attitude is everything. It's not them. It's not what happens out there. It's your attitude. When I joined Bitclub Network, when I made that decision to Joby, I'm going to do Bitclub Network, my attitude the day I joined is that I'm a monster builder now. I'm that top level management, top level leadership now. So obviously that's going to manifest because everything I did, I came from that perspective. People want leadership. They're going to follow a leader. I adopted that day one, and then we put the business in place. Millions and millions of people, thousands of people will now be helped and become multimillionaires from a decision I made, and it was done when I got involved. I'm saying each of you can make that same decision to affect lives out there. Attitude is everything. So here are the fundamentals that will work for Bitclub Network, the fundamentals I've learned in my business career. Number one, KISS. Keep it simple and short. Keep it simple and short. Number two, KID. Keep it duplicatable. You guys, this is how come we put together such an easy way to share this messaging. Basically, opening statement to get people's interest. Hey, do you know what the #1 investment in the world is since that 2008 global financial crisis? That's the question you ask people. Everyone, that you should be asking 5, 10 people that question every day. Do you know that what the #1 investment in the world is since that 2008 global financial crisis? They'll say Uber, they'll say gold, they'll say real estate, whatever they say. No, it's called Bitcoin. If you would have invested $1,000 in Bitcoin in 2010 after the crisis, at the end of last year, you would have had $9.5 million. It's the best performing investment in that shorter period of time than anything. Well, we know where that asset is going over the next 6 years. We can help you accumulate that asset. If I could show you how you can take a couple $1,000s and turn it into a couple million with that same asset that already grew from 1,000 to 9 million, would you want that information? Yes or no? That's all. That's simple. That's duplicatable. Asking that question is simple, duplicatable. They ask you another question. Oh, well, what is Bitcoin? Well, if you want the information, I'll give it to you, but I want to give it to you where you can make an intelligent decision. So do you want the information? Yes or no? Yes, I want it. What's Bitcoin? Okay, I'm going to give you a website, newwealth.info. Go to the website. It explains exactly what Bitcoin is. As you watch it, write down any questions, and then we'll make sure you get your questions answered. What's mining? Great. On that video, it explains what mining is. It tells you specifically. Write down any questions as you write it, and then we'll get your questions answered. What's blockchain? On that video, it tells you what blockchain is specifically. Write down any questions as you watch it, and then we'll get your questions answered. Yeah, I was at the gym yesterday. I'm working out. There's this pro bodybuilder from France, a guy who's won championships and everything. So I'm asking him for some tips, you know, and basically he gives me some tips on some pectoral stuff. And so I'm like, hey, do you know what the #1 investment in the world is since the 2008 global financial crisis? No, he had no idea. He couldn't even make a guess. I said, it's called Bitcoin. If you put $1,000 into it in 2010, at the end of last year, it would have been worth $9.5 million. We actually know where that asset's going over the next 6 years. So we can help people accumulate it where you can turn a couple $1,000s into a couple $1 million in the next couple years. You want the information? Yeah, man, I definitely want the information. So I asked him, what's Bitcoin? Well, listen, I'm going to get you the video, let you watch the video, write down your questions, and then we'll get your questions answered. And so he asked me a couple other questions. I wouldn't answer his questions. I want them to watch the video. That's simple. That's duplicatable. Could I answer the questions? Of course I could. Will I? No. I want them to watch the video. That's the system. If I show them the system, then he'll do the system. He won't try to answer the question. He'll send people, make them go to the video to get the answers. So then, he watched it. He called me up last night. Oh, man, you know, I got a friend who just sold a business. He's from France as well. You know, he's got all this money in Thai baht, but he doesn't want to move it back into French money because the government will tax it. Could Bitcoin be used for that? Oh, yeah, sure. He can just withdraw it as he needs it and keep it in Bitcoin. So we'll get him transferred over. So he's buying a founder's position. He's got a guy coming in buying 3 founders' positions, and we're going to help him get his money in Bitcoin. Just from asking a question. Are you asking that question 2, 3, 4, 5 times a day and getting people into that system, keeping it duplicatable? The third fundamental, SW, SW, SWN. Some will, some won't. So what? Next, next, next. That has to be your attitude. You have information that can change a person's life. You have found out about the #1 investment in the world before the masses. You can get people who are struggling financially and help them be multi-millionaires in the next 4 to 6 years. So all you got to do is share the information. You just share in an excited fashion. The people who want what resonates with, they'll act on it. If you share this with enough people, you can be master builder. Think about it. Are you asking that question to 2 people a day? That means you're only talking to 60 people a month. You're not going to be master builder if you're doing that. You understand? You're not going through enough numbers. It's a numbers game. You got to share with enough people because not everybody's going to take action. Not everyone's going to engage. Not a lot of people won't even go watch the video. So are you saying it to 5 people a day? 5 people a day? Now that's 150 people a month. That means by the end of September, you would expose this to 450 people. So you get 10%, you get 45 of them signed up at the founders level. They'll bring it on to other people. You'll be a master builder. It's a numbers game, you guys. And you say, well, 5 people a day. Who are the 5? Well, you run into people every day. You talk to people every day. You get home at night, you get on the phone, call people. Do you know about the #1 investment in the world since 2008 financial crisis? And boom, and put them in the system. Keep it simple, keep it duplicatable, go through the numbers, yourself to Master Builder, get yourself to Dubai, bring a couple pro builders with you. That'll get you to Monster Builder. Man, the success, the impact you'll have in the world is unprecedented, the magnitude that we're involved in here. All right, let's get into some of the fundamental training here in terms of sharing this. One of our best tools has been that newwealth.tech, that a projection chart. So as we get and watch the video, and on that video, I will be updating the video once we get all the information about CoinPay. So once we get CoinPay and got all the details and it's up and running, then we'll put out a whole new video. We'll take out the club coin information, take out the arbitrage trading information, and we'll just make it on Bitcoin mining, on GPU units, and on CoinPay. So there will be a new video that we're going to be able to share, but we got to get everything to finalize so it can be something that can be up and we can use over the next year. But right now, you guys, just sharing and following the system and doing it. So that projection chart is what people need, because they got to get an idea of how much they can really make from this investment. And that's been one of our best tools, since we have that in writing, where we're not just estimating a person will get 30 to 60 Bitcoin by 2020 by compounding their investment, where we can actually show them off the actual numbers what transpired and then how much they would get. And so I'm going to bring back on Michael Stevens to cover a couple of things that are just working, fundamental things that are working, his lunch meetings, his dinner meetings, and then a simple, easy way to explain that projection chart. And this is something you're going to want to really get some good notes on, because that's going to be one of your best tools to get people to take action. Mr. Stevens, let me turn it back over to you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jet. Just a phenomenal experience every time I listen to your leadership. I'm so grateful for that coaching and mentoring and your friendship. So I'm going to bring on somebody here for just 2 or 3 minutes that's actually out there in the field right now, getting it done. And, he was in Iceland, Mr. Jet. He experienced everything that we experienced 3 weeks ago on the luncheons and the dinners. He's out there in that process of sharing the information in a way that's non-threatening. And we found a lot of times people are just maybe a little afraid to tell their friend, or some, I'd be so pissed if you didn't tell me about this, Jet. I'd be like, why in the world didn't you tell me how I could get free? So I'm so grateful that you did. And this gentleman, Mr. Scott Miller, he's in Northwest Arkansas right now. He is going to explain to us just a little bit about the dinners. So Scott, if you can talk to us about how you share this information by just inviting some friends or family, and then they want to share it with a few folks. Now you have to have a platform or a place they can get this information, if you will, and those dinners will work if they're, we use the videos, and once they watch the video and they see what Bitcoin is and what Bitcoin mining is, what's the next step? Well, let me bring you on. Mr. Scott Miller, are you there, sir?
I am, yes, sir. Can you hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear.
So when we start our presentation, the very first thing we do is show the video. What is Bitcoin? That explains what the asset is a heck of a lot easier than I could, and a lot quicker. And then we follow up with the video on the mining, how we get the asset. We know what it is. Now we show how it comes into existence. We actually have a couple of the computers that we got from Iceland that we pass around the room at the same time. That's real powerful to let people actually see the computer and touch it and feel it. And then we go into why we've chosen Bitcoin. We talk a little bit about a couple of other cryptocurrencies, but specifically how the value is determined, what determines the value, which is the technology. It's the technology behind that coin. The coin just presents the value of that technology as the world says what it's worth. So we talk about that, why Bitcoin, give 3 reasons why we've chosen Bitcoin specifically. Very, very powerful for that part. And then we go right into the sheet. I mean, you guys have created these tools for us to use to make it so simple. We don't have to give our own interpretation or what we think that it is. We've got factual information. We've got proof. So we just go through that chart, Michael, that you've created for us, that you're renewing every month. and explain what those numbers are and the compound factor of how we get to the end result. Well, the end result, really truly the beginning result at that halving event, and then what continues after that.
Awesome, Scott. Thanks for sharing that. And I know you're doing an outstanding job. Northwest Arkansas has a dozen builders. We got pro builders. We got a master builder in Northwest Arkansas. You're going to be coming to Dubai, I'm sure, as a master builder here. And just
yes, absolutely. Jet said 160. There's only 159 rooms left.
That's what I'm talking about, Scott. Well, Scott, I thank you so much for your dedication, for the team, and your friends and family there. You're making it happen there in Northwest Arkansas. And, you know, guys, that's all we're doing. They watch the video, you know, just like Scott said, they're watching the video. And if you come to dinner, guess what they're going to do there? They're going to watch the videos. It's the videos, wealth.info. And so it doesn't matter. Just having that conversation. After that, though, you know, here's the difference now. When you want to get to builder, pro builder, master builder, monster builder, you know, taking it to the next level, now they're going to want to see some returns on investment. They want to see some data, maybe some proof. The printout, like Mr. Jet says, it's in the numbers. So let's show them the numbers, right? So I'm going to bring up that sheet, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the sheet, the spreadsheet here that we have as a tool. Where do you go? You go to newwealth.tech. You know why? It's the technical data. So anyways, it's newwealth.tech, T-E-C-H. I'm going to pull it up on the screen here, and I want to just take about 6 minutes, maybe 8 minutes. I'm going to tell you kind of what the numbers represent, and if you can convey this information to the person you're sitting there with, or the presentation you're giving at a dinner meeting or a luncheon, or sitting down having a conversation over your kitchen table, it doesn't matter. Understanding this chart, print it out, guys. Go to Office Depot, go to Office Max, ask them to print you, 100 of these out. This is important, have them printed out on legal paper in landscape. You want to write that down. Legal paper, landscape, newwealth.tech. It's going to be on 3 pages. Have them staple it, pay for it. You're done. Bring it to your sit downs, okay, and your dinners. So now you got this sheet in hard copy. And what you're going to show them is there's 2 things here. There's factual data, and then there's speculative data. So as you can see in the top, guys, understand that. There's actual information, and then there's speculative information. So in your mind, you have to understand the difference. Where's the facts at? It's all in these colors here, blue and little red there. But then click on this link that I've added, and you can go see all the data from the back office of the Bitclub network for this entire information. You go see the facts and kind of reverse engineer where this information is coming from. If you're a miner, you're going to see it in your back office. So with that being said, the first part of this form, this spreadsheet, is the facts. Here's 8-9 months of actual data. What's that mean? Well, that hard data just means that we got a couple charts. On average, we're getting 13.8% of a Bitcoin per month for each $3,500 invested. Okay, so that's the return on investment at this point in time with this founder's position of $3,500 worth of equipment. And as you can see, this chart over here to the right is the month-to-month return on investment per founder's position. The actual data, guys. You can go look at it. This is what yours is going to be, what mine's going to be. And each month it's a little different. But what you can see on average is just let that person know we got some data. We're getting about 13+% of a Bitcoin. Okay? Hopefully I can move the screen here. I'm kind of locking up. Oh my goodness, I hope you're still with me. Okay. I'm not able to move the spreadsheet here. My computer's getting hot. I'm going to scroll down into now the speculative data. Okay, this is where we're going to look. And now that we have the data, we know we're getting about 13.8% of a Bitcoin per $3,500. How? It doesn't matter. I don't know how it is. It's just these machines. It's the mining machines. It's doing it, okay? We own it. It's going to work. So now we're going to go into the speculative data. We got to guess on a couple things. 2 things we're going to have to kind of speculate on. One is the price to Bitcoin. Look at my chart, guys. It's 2,400. I can't even do it justice. I'm going to go over to the right side of this chart. We're not even going to talk about this chart because that's history. We're going to go on the right side of the black line. This is where we're at right now. This is what the experts are saying. We're talking about a $2,500 a Bitcoin this month. We're getting about 14% of a Bitcoin in return for a $3,500 position. Now, this number 1 here, this represents you own 1 share of a founder's position. Okay, this is important. If you understand one line, you can understand them all, guys. Just this one line and just carry it forward, okay? So we're going to speculate on the price, $2,500. We're going to get about 13.8% on average, plus or minus. 1 share at the point when you get started here in July mining. So you're going to earn 14% times 2,500. That's $345 on our return on investment at this month. Now, here's the thing. We're showing how we can take, and we've learned how to compound our earnings, taking advantage of a known fact in the future. And this is a very important date, July 2020. That's the date you got to remember, guys. You got to remember, make that up, write it down, learn it. July 2020 is the halving event. This is the date that the Bitcoin is going to go from 1,800 Bitcoin per day in production, minted, if you will, electronically. It's going to go down to 900. So we got to take advantage of this opportunity while we still have it. So we're going to compound 100% of our earnings. We're going to take that $345.
Let me jump in real quick.
Yes, sir, Mr. Jet.
Yeah, I just want to emphasize for you guys that as you're explaining that chart, you want to put some serious emphasis on that terminology, the magic of compounded interest. Say that is the reason we are able to share with people how they can turn this into a multi-million-dollar investment. It's that magic of compounding. Most people don't understand that. Most people don't know about it. So that's something that, we showed you when you look on the video, we talked about it. Were you aware of compounding? Were you aware that a penny doubled every day would move over $5 million? Do you understand that dynamic that people like Edison say it's the 8th wonder in the world? It's because of that magic of compounding. That's why our strategy can make you millions of dollars. If you put a little bit more emphasis on that, I find you get people much more excited because they're taking advantage of a mathematical tool that most people, 99% of people in the world, aren't understanding and not taking advantage of. That's what I'm bringing to this. That's what we're bringing to them to help them become wealthy from this investment. Other people in Bitclub Network are not doing that. Most people in Bitclub Network, they sign them up in a position and they're taking their returns out every day and they're looking to see when they get their $3,600 back. Let everybody else around the world do that. Let our folks we share with get compounded to where they can turn a share into 7 shares in a year and a half, and then keep that compounding where it moves up to over 20 shares. Now we're making people rich. That's the difference and uniqueness that we're bringing to the game. Back to you, Mr. Stevenson.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jet. And that is so important. I do talk about that as well in person. And then I give them a visual, Mr. Jet. I show them because people, we're not buying Bitcoin. We're not buying the golden egg. We're buying the goose that lays the golden egg. We're buying the equipment. Let me give you an example. And I show them, let me give you an example. We're going to buy the equipment. You own 1 founder share. Let this phone represent 1 founder share of equipment on the racks. Well, after the first month, you're going to earn a Bitcoin, a fraction of a Bitcoin, 13.8% about of a Bitcoin. What's it worth? Well, as you can see, it's around $385 if Bitcoin's at $2,500. Here's the magic of the compound. We give permission to Bitclub. We say, I don't want my Bitcoin. I want more mining equipment. I want another one of these founders positions. So let me show you the chart, how this works out. If you compound at 100% of your earnings for just a little while, guys, just a little while, as you see, after we'll go into February of next year. You see, you got July, August, September, October, all the way to February of next year. Now we're gonna at this point, if Bitcoin moves up to $3,000 in February of next year, we don't have just 1 founder's position. We keep giving our earnings back. Now we have 2. What's 2 earning us? Twice as much as 13.8%. It's about 27.27% of a Bitcoin. 2 times, right? So you keep doing that for a little while longer, guys, and you show them. Now, if you understand what this chart's doing, you can walk through this process and say, oh, you're going to have 3 founders positions if Bitcoin reaches 5 grand at that point. We know it's going to reach it. The experts are saying 10 grand by the middle or end of next year, 50 grand by 2020. We're being real conservative here on this chart. But by January, February, March, April, May, we have 3 founders positions now. then by 4, then 5, 6. So look at this date here, though. We're going to go all the way to January 2019. We'll have over 20 founders positions, guys. You paid for one, but every time you're earning your Bitcoin, you're saying, take it back, buy me some more mining equipment. Now I have 2. Now I have 3. Now I have 4. Now I have 5. You have 20 founders positions at that rate. Your return on investment now is 20 times the production, 13.8% of a Bitcoin per month. So you can, if you understand this process now, you can show them January 2019, we're not going to reinvest 100% anymore. We got to change the settings at this point. Why? Because we're going to milk the goose that's laying the golden egg, because we know in 2020, guys, there's this halving event. So we're going to take them back up about 18 months. We're going to reverse engineer, knowing the future. We have information. We know it's going to get halved. So we got to accumulate as much as we can with our mining equipment. We have hundreds of shares of equipment here as we're going into 2020. But look at all this Bitcoin here. This is the actual Bitcoin month in and month out. Your machines are producing now because you let it compound. And if you look at all that, you're pulling about 63.5% of that out. That's your max. You can pull it all out. There's a minimum reinvestment. It's still compounding on a smaller scale, but we're maxing our returns by pulling everything out. We've earned over 200 Bitcoin, 260 Bitcoin total. We've had to reinvest in this example 105. But look what's left over, guys. 157 Bitcoin. 157 Bitcoin in our hands, in our pockets, in our wallets. And we still own hundreds of shares of founders positions worth of equipment that are still working for us going into 2021, 2025, 2020, 30, and on and on. And here's the big thing, guys. What's Bitcoin going to be worth? You have 150 Bitcoin, you're at 20 grand, you're talking about over $4 million, $3, $4, $5 million per founder's position that you invested in 2017 in July, because you made that decision. Why 1? That 1 doesn't make sense. 3, it would, that's what Mr. Jet talks about. You want to get 3 of these founders positions to ensure that you're going to be set up not only for yourself, but your generational wealth, your children's children's children. So, I hope that conveys the information of how to understand the chart. It's compounding, and you're going to pull out in January 2019. It's absolutely imperative you do not reinvest 100% beyond around January or February 2019. Just go in there one time, log in, change the settings, and let it ride again. And coming out, that Bitcoin's going to come out every day. So, Mr. Jet, is there anything else I didn't that maybe I can expand on here with the spreadsheet, sir?
Hey, thank you, Mr. Stevens. You did a fantastic job. We're going to open this up for questions. If you're on Zoom, you can type a question in your chat box, or you're going to be able to click on your mute button and come in interactive and ask your question that way. The one thing I do want to add, Mr. Stevens, is that, I already said that we're going to be updating and doing a new video once we get all the CoinPay numbers and finalized and up and running. So it'll be about CoinPay, GPU units, and Bitcoin mining. But also, we're going to also update that New Wealth Tech. Okay, you guys came off of mute, but somebody's got background noise. So that was the background noise. I need you to mute out right now, please. All I can hear is your noise. I can't even hear myself talk. Thank you. So we're going to also be updating that New Wealth.Tech projection chart, because to be honest with you, the chart we're showing now is really rather ridiculous with what's occurring. We show it 10,000 Bitcoin in 2020, and we're showing 2,400 Bitcoin, where we know right now today it's at 2,500, but pretty much all the experts are thinking it'll hit over 10,000 next year. So next year is 2018. That's way ahead of 2020. So, but once we do go ahead and update the video, that projection chart is only going to show one projection. It will take out all the 10,000 and 2020 stuff, because once Bitcoin's over 7,000, 8,000, why are we showing those type of numbers when we know it's going to be closer to what Sir Richard Branson is talking about, 20,000 Bitcoin? So we're only going to have that one side when we do update it toward the end of the year, where we'll just be showing a projection based off 20,000 Bitcoin. in 2020. So giving people a much clearer idea of how much they'll accumulate. And that'll still mean you can sign up founders next year in 2018, and you're signing up people in 2018, they can still take that 1 year of compounding to be able to turn their one share into multiple shares, and then turn it January 2019, start milking the golden goose and get all that Bitcoin, and they're still going to accumulate an incredible estate based off 20,000 Bitcoin. So I think there'll be more integrity in showing 20,000 Bitcoin as people see the price of Bitcoin rise than that 10,000 Bitcoin that we got right now is to be extremely conservative and extremely, under promise and over deliver. So let's go ahead and take questions. Check on the chat box here from Indigo. Dubai, here we come. That's not a question. That's a affirmation statement. So, all right, Lejeune, Denise, Indigo, I'll meet you guys in Dubai. I'll see you there. As master builders, Indigo, I expect you to be a master builder. You got to have pro builders up under you. All right. Any other questions, you guys?
Yeah, hi, Jed. It's Grant here.
Go right ahead, Grant.
Jed, I just wanted to... Yeah, mate. But I just want to get some clarification around the in January 2019, when we're pulling out all our Bitcoin. Is there a reason we're doing that in January 2019 and not following that through and maximizing throughout 2019 for the compounding effect?
Yeah, there is a reason, and so many people are not understanding that. So, Grant, I'm so glad you asked that, because there's only one reason I put this plan together. There's only one reason. It's the halving event, July 2020. Bitcoin, 1,800 Bitcoins that's distributed to miners every day goes down to 900 Bitcoins from August 2020 on. So tell me this, Grant, would you rather have 7 shares and be participating in something that where you're sharing in a pot of 1,800 Bitcoin a day and you're getting paid off of those 7 shares? Or would you rather have 10 shares and be being paid off of 900 Bitcoin that you're getting a portion of every day? What would you prefer?
It'd be the first one.
Yeah, and so that's how come I'm saying there's enough time to use compounding by January 2019, but we want to use those 18 months to get as much Bitcoin as possible in our accounts, because if Bitcoin going to 20,000, that's enough time, 18 months of taking those returns that every single people we're putting into this $3,500 investment can become multimillionaires. That's why I'm excited about that. That's why I'm doing this. This is a thing we can empower people's lives. You can go to a waitress. You can go to a person living paycheck to paycheck, struggling. Say, look, go pawn that jewelry. Go do whatever you got to do. Come up with $3,500. I'm going to make you a multimillionaire. That's the power you have with this information. And so by them starting to take that Bitcoin out for the 18 months as Bitcoin's rising, now they can accumulate enough Bitcoin to become a multimillionaire, because, and as I say, you can make your dreams come true. This is where you can buy the dream house, the dream cars. You can do that dream stuff because it goes down 900 Bitcoin distributed to miners every day. But remember, you're going to still have those 10 shares of mining equipment, or 15 shares of mining equipment, or 20 shares of mining equipment because of that compounding. And so even when it's at 900, you're going to still be getting new Bitcoin every day, day in and day out on an ongoing basis. So you've got a continual source of income from this investment. So that lump sum you've accumulated over the 18 months, you can blow that money if you want, because now you've set up ongoing wealth where it'll be a slower amount. You won't be getting, say 5 Bitcoin a month. Maybe you're only getting 2 Bitcoin a month. But we are expecting the price of Bitcoin to rise. And I use the example, all the experts are saying when 1% of the world population is exchanging value over their computers through Bitcoin, because it's a limited asset, there will only be 21 million ever released in the world's population, that Bitcoin has to be over 100,000 of Bitcoin. So that means by you mining now, accumulating and compounding those shares now, having event occurs in 2020, another having event occurs in 2024, another having event occurs in 2028. So let's say because you got those 30, 40, because you compounded your mining shares, but you're only getting 0.25% of Bitcoin a month. Well, 0.25% when Bitcoin's 100,000, that's $25,000 a month from an investment you made back in July 2017. So this is ongoing wealth, but we want you to get as much Bitcoin as possible while they're still passing out 1,800 Bitcoin a day. And that's the reason for the plan, Grant. Is that clear?
Yeah, that's clear. Thanks for that.
Great. And then we'll go back to the chat here. We have from Terry Lynn. What are the 3 reasons? Yes, what are the 3 reasons? Please refer to Sandy's questions about what Scott spoke about. Okay, let's go to Sandy's question. Scott Miller mentioned 3 reasons why he chose Bitcoin that he shares in the lunch dinner meetings. What are those 3 reasons? Scott, you want to jump in and share the 3 reasons?
Sure. There's obviously many more than 3, but the first one is because Bitcoin's the first cryptocurrency. AOL was the first email provider. They are still number 1 today. Bitcoin is 42% of over $100 billion industry. That's number 1.
So
number 2.
Let me jump on that, Scott. Let me jump on that. So, because that's a great point. And so you remember, I want to give you guys keywords. Words create mental images, so that's why I'm giving you keywords. I already gave you the keyword. Use that terminology, magic of compounded interest. So if a person goes Google it, they can get understanding about why that's so powerful, the magic of compounded interest. So what Scott's talking about there, the keywords you want to use there is called first movers advantage. Internet, Microsoft had first movers advantage. They're the big dog. They'll always be there. As Scott just said, AOL with emails, they had first movers advantage. They'll always be there. And Bitcoin in cryptocurrency has first movers advantage. That's the one that will always be there. Okay, Scott, and then go on with the other 2 reasons.
Yeah, another one is because of the technology behind the Bitcoin makes it super easy to be used as a currency. Number 3 is because it's a finite amount. We all know that. Many cryptocurrencies do not have a finite amount, which is going to affect the value of it down the road. Bitcoin has a finite amount. We know that Bitcoin on average has raised 0.3% per day since it was created. So we know it's going to continue to go up.
And, you know, that third point there is once again such a major point because, you know, so many people are all excited about Ethereum. And a lot of people saw Ethereum go from $17 at the beginning of the year to over $300. And people are saying, oh, Russia now, and all these people want to use Ethereum, that Ethereum is going to exceed the price of Bitcoin. But one of the things that I have real clarity about is what Scott just said. Bitcoin is finite. There'll only be 21 million. So we know Bitcoin will get to over 100,000 as 1% of population gets to it, and it'll continue to move and grow as more and more people utilize it. I seriously doubt Ethereum will ever get to 100,000 in Ether because it's not finite. They are going to put more and more Ethereum into the marketplace. So it's like US dollars. It's not at that deflationary currency like Bitcoin. So yeah, Ethereum is valuable. Yeah, so many incredible platforms. Yeah, it's going to be a nice cryptocurrency. But I think as a store of value, on long-term store of wealth, the mining of Bitcoin is so much more secure because of that finite aspect where we know with Ethereum, a lot of these cryptocurrencies, they're just going to be keep printing up, and putting more and more into the marketplace. All right, any other questions? You can jump in on Zoom and ask your question or put it in the chat box. And we're almost got 5 minutes toward the close here. Does anyone have a final question for us? All right, Scott, you got a closing remark? You want to anything you want to share in closing? Was the information we shared tonight helpful for you? And you think that might get a couple of your people to Master Builder to come along with you to Dubai?
Oh, I think it was just awesome hearing all you leaders on here, just reinforcing what most of us already know and helping those that just didn't have enough of the dots to connect. So I think it was awesome. I appreciate the opportunity to participate.
Great. Well, Scott, we appreciate you, and we really appreciate your leadership. You have stepped up. You've taken that leadership role. You've got the right attitude. You got the mindset, and I want you to know you're appreciated. Mr. Stevens, any final comments you want to make?
Mr. Jett, I'd just like to comment that we have a great tool, a great opportunity for everybody this month in July, and to have you as well as other experts on Tuesdays at 7th, 8th, and 9:30 Central Time, 10:30 Eastern Time, and you'll have to do the math. And then on Thursdays at 7:30 Central Time, 8:30 Eastern Time, but they'll be posted. Look for the posts and bring your prospects, bring their family, your friends to these webinars and get their questions answered after they watch the videos. I'd highly recommend get them to watch the videos and then bring them to the Q&A, Jett, so they can so you can answer their questions as an expert.
Exactly. That makes this thing so duplicatable. You're able to tell a person, you see what I did? I just asked you about the #1 investment in the world. You said you want to find out how you can turn a couple thousand to a couple million. I sent you to a video. You watched the video. And then you wrote down your questions. I got you on a Q&A call. You asked the guys your questions. Now you're buying these 3 founders positions. You don't like to talk. You don't want to be a salesman. You don't think you can do crowdfunding. But you can ask people, do you know about the #1 investment, right? You can send them to a video. You can do what I did. You can do this. You can crowdfund. You can help people. You can give people confidence because they don't have to talk. They don't have to know all the information. They don't have to be the expert. You can tie them into our system. We got a duplicatable system. If you use it, you'll see growth in your business. I see so many people I've signed up personally who tell me they want to become leaders in this. They want to make over $10,000 a month. They never use me for a 3-way. They never bring people to Q&A. They're out here trying to explain Bitcoin, explain Bitcoin mining, explain blockchain. And guess what? They don't sign up anybody. They think they want to be smart and they want to talk and they are failing. And I see it over and over and over. But I see people using the system, tying people into the system, and they get people sign-ups left and right. And so keep it simple, keep it duplicatable, and share with large numbers, and you guarantee yourself long-term success. You guys, closing out the call, I mentioned that, I was planning on writing a book, but then I decided I don't have to because the information I was going to give, what I found through all my research over the years, was already in a book called Beyond Positive Thinking by Dr. Robert Anthony. I couldn't give a higher endorsement for a book to read, to change your life, to change your actions, to make noticeable change in your results in life by following and utilizing and adapting this information. This is compelling, it's validated, it's proven, and these are the ways anyone can sort of take more control of what's occurring and moving forward and progressing toward their goals in life. And so to close out the call, I just want to end with just a little bit from Beyond Positive Thinking that I think will impact you from that standpoint of how we started the call, saying make that decision, key word there, a decision. Talk about commitment. We talk about decisions, not I hope, not I wish, not man, if a couple people, if they become builders, no, it's you making a decision. It's done. Whatever I got to do, it's done. I'm master builder. I'm going to identify, help, find, and help 2 other people become pro builder. I'm taking them to Dubai with me. Make that decision tonight. It's done. It'll change your life. So here's a little bit from Beyond Positive Thinking. The most powerful, you know what, I think I'll throw in some glasses on this just to make sure I give it all to you correct. The most powerful force in the world. Your subconscious will achieve anything you believe to be true for you. Belief is the cornerstone of all the great achievements since the beginning of time. Believe. As ye believe, so shall it be done unto you. Belief. We need to remind ourselves that belief is the master, and we become the slaves in that belief, dictates the actions we take, but we can change our beliefs. And the exciting thing about this is that if we change our belief, which is the cause, we also change our experience, which is the effect or the end result. What we want to do is to reprogram ourselves. Attitude is everything. It's mental. It's in your mind. It's your thoughts This is it. This is your monster builder. This is your success. It ain't what's out here in the world. It's what's inside of your brain. So you change this, change your attitude, change your thought process, change your belief. Everything out here in the exterior changes. What we want to do is to reprogram ourselves. Reprogram yourself tonight that you're a monster builder tonight. Understand that tonight, accept that tonight, know that tonight, be that tonight, and everything changes in your life. Reprogram this. How do you reprogram? Affirmation, over and over. Magnificent obsession, seeing it, visualizing, knowing it. Become obsessed with it. I know obsession scares a lot of people. That's average, ordinary people. That's how come they live lives like everybody else. But the great people in the world, the people who accomplish, the achievers, they're obsessed. You look at the Olympic athletes. You look at the basketball players. You look at the top business leaders, the Mark Cubans, the Sir Richard Bransons. They're obsessed. Be willing to give your all to what you want to accomplish in life. Don't live an average, ordinary life. Don't be like everybody else. Choose to be great. Choose to be different. Choose winning as opposed to being average and ordinary. What we want to do is reprogram ourselves and set up an environment in which our beliefs facilitate us in getting what we want. The tools we use to do that are positive self-talk statements and visualization. You're telling yourself over and over constantly what it is you're accomplishing. You're seeing it and visualizing it in your mind's eye. You see it. You see your life as a monster builder. You see how many families you help. You see how many leaders you've changed their life. You see yourself like a Joby Weeks on a yacht with your team of people who are working regular jobs, and now you're living this amazing life. You see yourself at that charity event where you're the one giving the $1 million check that's going to change all those people. You see the churches you're building. You see the hospitals you're building. You see it here, and then you manifest it. We learned earlier that our thoughts become reality if we believe those thoughts to be true. I'll repeat that. We learned earlier that our thoughts become reality if we believe those thoughts to be true. Once again, one of the great teachers, metaphysicians, said, as we believe, so shall it be done unto you. It's the exact same thing that's been said throughout history. We think thousands of thoughts every day, but the ones that influence us are the ones that are tied to emotion. Why do I talk with such passion? Why do I talk with such? Because it's emotion. I'm in this to change lives. You guys have to understand something. I am not doing this for the money. There is no way I can ever spend the money I already made from other stuff I've done. I don't want any yachts. I don't want to own planes. I've got enough houses and cars. There's no way I can spend it. I'm doing this. This passion is to change lives. It's the emotion. When you talk to people, do you come from that emotion? Look, I want to help you. I want to help you win. The U.S. is $20 trillion in debt. It's going to be devastating to families out here when this thing gets addressed. I want you to at least be the one that's free. I have a passion to make sure you set yourself and your family and your children up. That's why I'm sharing this information. Do you come with that intensity? You'll get different results if you come with that intensity. It's emotion that people respond to. We've got all the facts. You can send them to the information. All the facts are validated. Obviously, if they research it, they're going to see it's the best investment in the world. But you as the messenger, you have to be clear in how you want to use this information to change their life. So come from your passion. Come from that inner force, that energy. And when you come from there, people will take action. We think thousands of thoughts every day, but the ones that influence us are the ones that are tied to emotion. Visualization is the process of taking a thought and keeping it long enough so that our mental picture evokes an emotional response. Keep in mind that thought plus emotion creates conviction, and conviction creates reality. I'm going to repeat that sentence for you guys. I think somebody should be taking a note on this. This is powerful. This is life-changing if you get an understanding of this. Keep in mind that thoughts plus emotion create conviction. And conviction, your personal conviction, is what creates reality. It's not what's out there, you guys. It's what's coming in from you that's going to change that's what's out there. And my last thought I want to share from you from this book. We want to remind ourselves that nothing or no one can stop us from creating the life that we desire. The only one who can ultimately stop us is ourselves and our own limited beliefs. Your limited beliefs is what will stop you from having success in Bitclub Network. Your limited beliefs is what will stop you from helping families with this information, the #1 investment in the world. If you're putting a limit on what you can do, you will not help as many people. You can change your limited beliefs, and then you will change your results in so many other people's lives. Make a decision right now that you are open, responsive, and receptive to new ideas and to beliefs that will support you in getting to where you want to go, and that you're willing to give up anything that limits you in any way. I'll repeat that one. Make a decision. I think I started the call, right? Talking about decision. Isn't that funny? We're ending the call, coming back to that same word. Make a decision right now that you're open, responsive, and receptive to new ideas and beliefs that will support you in getting to where you want to go. You want to go to Dubai? Have a new belief about you going to Dubai and you being a master builder. Change here, reprogram here, and you're willing to give up anything that limits you in any way. You guys, I'll see you in Dubai. Looking forward to it. We're going to have a ton of fun. Sawadee krap. Greetings from Pattaya, Thailand. You guys have a great day.
You're so close.